All right, my check. With that said, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio live right here on Ustream.tv here on this Friday, July the 12th, 2013. I am Kenny C, your host. Hope everybody's having a good night, having a good evening. One thing I want to point out, Shine Wrestling out there in Florida. That show is in progress right now. And I do know for a fact that a few former guests, Triple Threat Wrestling Radio guests, are competing there right now as we speak. Huge congrats to Shine Wrestling. It was around this time year ago that they started, and here they are with their 11th pay-per-view show, and it's their 1 year anniversary show. Uh, People call it Shimmer South. Who knows? We'll get Shimmer in the Midwest. Got your WSUs. You got some major companies out there in the West, but Shine, it definitely lives up to its name. It's definitely shining, if you get what I'm saying. So congrats to Shine Wrestling on their 1 year anniversary, which is currently in progress right now. And if you're a wrestling fan near the Lexington, Kentucky area, you may have heard by now WWE is coming to Lexington, Kentucky's Rupp Arena on September the 20th, which is a Friday night. Tickets just went on sale yesterday for the VIP stuff, and now it's available to the public as of today. And as of this morning, I got my ticket, and I will be there. So, I believe last year when they were there, I missed the show, and it was on a Saturday night. So I said to myself, if WWE's coming, I don't care if it's Friday or Saturday, I'm going. Especially because they only come around here once a year, so I'm not missing out on it. So I'm looking forward to it. Friday, September 20th at Rupp Arena. Now, we're going to go ahead and recap Raw, main event, SmackDown, and Impact. By the way, live interview today with indie pro wrestling referee by the name of Kenny Stone. Another person in the wrestling industry, was recommended by Sign Guy. Shout out to him. He told me about this guy. But this guy is already cool enough because we both have the same first name, first and foremost. So I think this is the first time in all my years doing internet radio that I'm interviewing someone who shares the same first name as I. And speaking of I just realized that I've yet to open Skype. I got everything else up and running, but I have not opened my Skype. So, silly me, the internet radio guy. But Kenny Stone, he's not calling in right now. He will be calling in at the bottom of the hour. We're gonna talk about what made him decide to be a referee and how he feel about being part of the wrestling industry in general. Let's go ahead and recap Monday Night Raw, and I want to start off by getting into the in-wing not the in-wing, but the debut of the Wyatt family. You've seen the promos, you've seen the subliminal messages, you've seen the special effects, things like that. Now you get to actually see them on the grand stage. You get to see them on Monday Night Raw, and let's just say they got involved in Kane's match. And let's see, Kane, he had a match this past Monday night. Trying to read through my chicken scratch writing who he had a match against. Actually, he had a. Let's see. We had Christian. Oh yeah, it was Christian versus Kane. I believe, yeah, Christian versus Kane. Kane went on to win this match. His celebration, or not that much of a celebration, was short lived when the Wyatt's music, they go on to make their appearance, and they are not messing around. See, Bray Wyatt just sat there, made his appearance. It was in the dark. Went sat on a chair while the other two members of the Wyatt family attacked Kane. One of the Wyatts smashed Kane with the stairs in the head, and announced. It was later announced on main event this past Wednesday, and now tonight on SmackDown, that Kane has been ruled out of the Money in the Bank All-Star match this Sunday night. According to WWE.com sources, Kane suffered head and neck trauma. So instead of 7 men inside the Money in the Bank, it's going to be dropped to 6 men. So if you are the wrestlers that are not 7 feet tall like Kane, you feel pretty good. That's just one less person to worry about. But WWE came up with some odd suggestions uh, on who should replace Kane. You got the great, considering this is supposed to be an all-stars, okay? You got Great Khali. He's a former world champion. You got the Big Show. He's a former world champion. He's a former world champion. Kofi Kingston, and he's still recovering. Bottom line is, this is the right move. Maybe Big Show could fill the void, but unless you already got something planned for Big Show, it's not the time. So I think it's wise for them to just drop it to 6. Don't have anyone replace him. But it's gonna be interesting. Will the Wyatt family be at Money in the Bank? Are they gonna go after someone else? Who knows? But Kane, not only is he out this Sunday, but he's gonna be out of action for quite a while. That's neck and head trauma, according to WWE.com sources. Now on to the rest of Raw itself. CM Punk went on to defeat Randy Orton. Sheamus, actually Daniel Bryan defeated Sheamus. Reigns and Rollins defeated Tons of Funk. And how about this? Chris Jericho gives Curtis Axel his first defeat since he aligned himself with Paul Heyman. Yeah, Paul Heyman guys do very well, but one thing for sure, Paul Heyman guys are not undefeated. Curtis Axel is not different. You went into a veteran like Chris Jericho. He's looking to get momentum leading up into Money in the Bank Money in the Bank match against Ryback, and he's Jericho is ready. He's ready big time. And there was a match added to the pay-per-view. It's going to be Curtis Axel going up against The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, speaking of Money in the Bank, later in the hour, I will make my predictions for the pay-per-view. And I see that my Skype is now up and running. Thank goodness. All right. Now, let me see here. I need to get into something real quick. So just bear with me. I check my settings. All right, now I can get back. So as of right now, only thing we know right now is Rollins and Reigns will take on the Usos in the kickoff. The kickoff starts at 7. They'll be at the kickoff show. Rollins and Reigns taking on the Usos. Jericho versus Ryback. AJ versus Caitlyn. Miz versus Axel. World Heavyweight contract Money in the Bank match. Money in the Bank All-Star match. Del Rio, Ziggler, Cena, and Henry. Oh, if you haven't, check out the article on WWE.com. Exclusive interview with RVD just days before his highly anticipated WWE in-ring return. He has some interesting things to say about his experience with the WWE, and he admitted, that early, his first go around with the WWE, he had a bit of an attitude. But since then, he's been matured. He's just grown up a bit. So good for him. Now, I almost spilled. I almost spilled my drink. So Alberto Del Rio versus Sin Cara that ended a no contest. I gotta get into this. The evaluation by Vicky Guerrero. She's been the managing supervisor of Monday Night Raw since October of last year. And over the last several weeks, she's had to deal with the three-headed monster known as the McMahon family. Vince, Stephanie, and Triple H. They have individually has told Vicky, hey, you listen to me, you go far. You listen to me, you go far, and you get the idea. But Vicky is way over her head. She tried to keep it together. And how about this? When the fans speak, the front office listens. Or in this case, the McMahons do listen. Well, at least 2 out of the 3. It was announced that there's going to be a poll on the WWE app to whether Vicky Guerrero passed or she failed. And being that she's Vicky Guerrero and she only is known for 2 words and such, it's not surprised that she didn't get a popular vote. WWE app voters spoken, 75% says she failed, 25% says she passed. And after the deliberation between the McMahons, it was Stephanie McMahon that said the final word, sealed the fate of one Vicky Guerrero. To quote her father, who quoted Donald Trump, Vicky Guerrero, let's just say, you heard of relieved from your duties or fired, which is exactly what she said. She said you're fired. Let's just say she's been excused from her duties, effective immediately. So Vicky has a meltdown on top of the table, on the desk area. Okay, so not only that, I think Vince tried to console her, make sure that she was okay, but she completely lost her mind. She just couldn't get it together. So Vince takes his frustration on the audience And then he said, you know what? You fans are going to pay for this. So he decided no managing supervisor replacement. He just cut to the chase. He said, you know what? We're going to have ourselves a new general manager. The new general manager of Monday Night Raw turned out to be the assistant to the managing supervisor, none other than Brad Maddox. So it's no more Bricky. It's just Brad. And the look on Brad Maddox's face when Vince made the announcement, that was priceless. I mean, let's face it, he didn't, he wanted to have a say, but Vicky, you know, Brad Maddox. I mean, if you would have tell him that his intent was to be the general manager, I would say nah. I guess he wanted some power. He just wanted to be heard. That's all he wanted. He just wanted to be heard. Well, he's about to be here, all right. Now the question is, how long will he be the general manager of Monday Night Raw? Because you know Vince McMahon is going to find a way to get Vicky back. And I guess the only way to make that happen is for Brad Maddox to screw up somehow. And from the moment he screws up, Stephanie and Triple H definitely would have to take a look, have to take this under consideration. But how Vince just going to sit there and let people beneath him make the final call? Now I get it. That's his daughter, the $1 billion princess and all that. But she ain't the owner. She ain't in charge. And in my Rick Ross tone, she ain't the boss. Vince McMahon is the boss. And dude just say, you know what? I'm an old man. What do I know? I mean, you're the chairman. By the way, let's see. Alicia Fox and AJ teamed up, taking on Layla and Caitlyn. Fox and AJ went on to pick up the victory there as well. There was a face-to-face confrontation between Cena and Henry. Mark Henry got the best of Cena, getting some momentum leading up into this Sunday's pay-per-view. Now on to main event. The latest representative of one Zeb Coulter, his name is Antonio Cesaro. He went up against Dolph Ziggler, and with the interference of Swagger and Coulter, Ziggler went on to win by a disqualification. And Tons of Funk teaming up with Khali, they went on to beat Rose Scholars and 3MB's Heath Slater and Rose Scholars. Rose Scholars left Slater high and dry, and 1,000-pound combined trio of Khali and Tons of Funk, they handled their business on that night. That's exactly what they did. They did what they had to do. That was a quick recap there. I want to announce to you all, but when we have 10 minutes to go, I'm going to interview Kenny Stone, Indie Pro Wrestling referee out there in Washington, the Pacific Northwest. He has worked for SCW, Sukuya Championship Wrestling. I'm looking forward to interviewing him. I want to give y'all an update on the remainder of July. Next week, I'm going to be joined with an indie pro wrestler named Chloe. That's on the 19th. And then on the 26th, the long-awaited rescheduled interview with Justin Overstreet and Mackenzie York That's on the last Friday of July. And I've already got some interviews now confirmed for July, August the 2nd. Another rescheduled interview. Missed this. Lexia, she's going to call in. And Casey Ray out of Boston, she'll call in on the 9th as well. So if you're a wrestler, you are a promoter, valet, manager, you want to get interview on the show, all you got to do is email me with all the info. Email me. The official email of Triple Threat Wrestling Radio is all put together in one word, no underscores in between. Triple Threat Wrestling Radio at gmail.com. That's Triple Threat Wrestling Radio at gmail.com. So get your emails in. Let me know. There you have it there. Now, I did not get a chance to watch Impact Wrestling last night because my family decided that they wanted to watch a movie. The movie that we ended up watching is called The Call. See how I said it? It's called The Called, which is a WWE studio film. Stars Halle Berry, Morris Chestnut, WWE wrestler, David Otunga. I know my dad had a conversation, and I said, yeah, that's David Otunga. He didn't have his facial hair was cut on that movie, but yeah, that was David Otunga. And I watched the movie for the first time, and he didn't have a lot of lines in that movie. Now, obviously, Halle Berry, being the Academy Award-winning actress that she is, she's the main star. Chestnut is the co-star, and pretty much everybody else is just there. Let me tell you something. The Call, and I guess, it's not a wrestling movie per se. It's definitely one of the most intense film I've ever watched. But I like the storyline. Halle Berry, she's, those people that does the 911 emergency calls. I don't want to give too much of it away. It recently came out on DVD and Blu-ray. It was not purchased. It was rented on Redbox. So it was the first time I actually purchased a rented movie from the Redbox. And whoever came up with that concept, Blockbuster Video and other rented video stores are out of business. And not only that, it costs, I think, about $1.30 a day for a rented movie. I know it costs $2-3 for rented video games. I haven't rented I remember back in the 1990s, go to Blockbuster Videos, always wanted to rent some games and stuff. I mean, Blockbuster was huge back in the day. But because of Redbox and I guess Netflix, well, mostly Redbox, they out of business. So it's messed up. I want to give a shout out to Lexi Fife. In case you haven't heard, Slamming Ladies is celebrating their 9-year anniversary throughout the month of July. And you can go to slammingladies.com, click on the 9-year anniversary tab, and they have giveaways, they have sales, they got all sorts of things. I'll be keeping up the speed here. So here's the deal. As of today, July 12, 2013, Slamming Ladies have this is going to be running through next Thursday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. They are offering $15 slim pegs at buy three, get one free. And for all you slimming lady members out there, since before June 1st of this year and still have an active ongoing membership, they're throwing the additional free $10 match of your choice. Buy as many as you responsibly can. Does it include the newest matches? Yes, it do. And I guess you can go on from that. So far, they have had, trivia games. They've had they have had a giveaway. They're gonna be having new matches posted on the website every Wednesday this month. Every Thursday. That's more of a regular. And then Friday, it's like the sale Friday, I guess you could say. Um, I'm definitely gonna try to take advantage of the buy three, get one free. I know I purchased two DVDs yesterday, and I hope to. I Yeah, actually, yes, I did. It was yesterday. Hopefully, I get them by Saturday or so. So we'll see. Oh, and that sale for the DVDs that's available until the 23rd of July. Some DVDs have been cut $5 off. Some DVDs have been cut $10 off. I think I've only, in all my years of being a customer, I think I've only purchased two DVDs. Now I can add two more to my collection. Who knows? I may buy me some more. Who knows? But shout out to Slamming Ladies. Congratulations to them on that. Few weeks away until Magnificent Ladies Wrestling gets ready for their first taping in the Destiny era. Destiny is now in charge of the company. So send her good wishes for her first tapings. Not just, first tapings as a wrestler and an owner. So even though she's now the owner, she still will be available for custom scripts and requests. And shout out to Helena Heavenly, a former Chilling with Jeffrey Kenny C guest. She recently had a 4th of July sale of her website, ringgoddess.com. I took advantage of that opportunity. Felt pretty happy about that. I still got Impact recap to come. I still got the SmackDown recap. And then I got the Money in the Bank predictions as well. Kenny Stone, Indie Pro Wrestling referee, will be calling in shortly. So I've done this show for over almost 2.5 years now. And I've interviewed wrestlers, managers, valets, promoters, and now a referee. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hope to hear from Kenny shortly. I'll give him 5 minutes, and if he doesn't call, then I'll just send him a message. That's just how it goes. See, I used to do this day in wrestling history, but I decided not to do it this time around because I may end up repeating myself, and that's not what I want to do on this show. And I noticed a lot of wrestling shows, they don't do this day in wrestling history. I guess I kind of did it just to see how it would fit the show. And although it fits the show pretty good, somehow I'm gonna repeat myself. That's not what I want to do. So, SummerSlam is the next pay-per-view on. Speaking of TNA, TNA He's headed back to Kentucky next week. It's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky this time for the first time ever, one of his popular pay-per-views is going to be seen on national television. Destination X. I'm curious to see what Chris Sabin's going to do with that X Division title. Is he gonna surrender the X Division title for an opportunity of the World Championship? And this dude, since he came back from the injury, he wins the title, he loses it, then wins it right back. Now, Austin Aries was the X Division champion, and he had a choice to make. He took the risk, and the risk pay off. You know what the cliche is: the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. And this is a huge opportunity for Mr. Hell Sabin himself. Next Thursday night, Impact headed to the Lou. So for the first time in my life, I could say I went to a WWE show, a TNA show on the same calendar year. That's pretty cool. And believe it or not, I still have my voucher for the Lexington Legends game. I'm going to hope to go one at some point. I find it funny that I saw that, oh, sorry about that. I don't know, what the heck was that? Oh, that must have been it. I must have had the error on the Power Slammers. And boy, did it nearly hurt my ears for a moment. Hurt my ears. Here's something, since TNA don't have these superstar appearances, if you're in the New Jersey area on, okay, that passed. Alright, what about Monday? Monday, July 22nd, 11 a.m. at the Fry Electronics Store. At the Fry Electronics Store located in Austin, Texas. Mark Henry will be there alongside Rosa Mendez. I wonder if Mark Henry is going to be there as WWE Champion. I got my predictions to make a little bit later. And then on Thursday, at the same Fry Electronics Store, St. Cara and Layla will be there. August the 9th at the Wizard World Chicago Comic Con. Of course, CM Punk's going to be there. He'll be there Friday and Saturday. He has a question and answer panel. And then, he'll be there for autographs. He's pretty much going to be there all weekend. So, and it's Chi-Town, for crying out loud. You better get your ticket, and you better get in line early. And then August the 18th, Hollywood Improv at Hollywood, California. Mick Foley will be there. Appears for the Tales from Wrestling's Past event. On the 28th, Foley will be there. Also, Tales from Wrestling's Past. Connecticut Convention Center on August the 8th. Or September the 8th, excuse me. Justin Gabriel and Layla will be there. And then Friday, September 20th, Mick Foley will be there at the American Comedy Company. He'll be there on the September 20th and 21st. Columbus, Ohio, Greatest Columbus Convention Center. Sheamus will be there. I'm sure they'll add something. They'll add some WWE superstar appearances in Lexington in the near future. But Natalia, she's gonna be at the Webster Bank Arena, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and then Punk will be there on Wizard World Nashville Comic Con in Nashville, Tennessee. All right, so those are your appearances update. I still have yet to hear from Kenny, so I don't see a number in front of me, so I'm gonna have to message the homie and see what is going on. And yes, you just heard some fireworks in the background. What is it, July the 12th? Okay, we are 8 days removed from 4th of July. And I get the feeling that there's people in this neighborhood may have forgotten, may have not forgotten per se. I would say people may have purchased too many fireworks. That's my take from all this. So, I have just sent Kenny a message. Hopefully, he will reply momentarily. Hopefully, he's anywhere near a phone or internet or whatever. He's got 22 more minutes left. So, I guess while I wait for Kenny, I will go ahead and recap Impact Wrestling for last night. And since I didn't get to see it, I will just go through the results, which won't take that long. It was a Joker's Wilds edition of Impact Wrestling. You got Samoa Joe and AJ Styles teamed up, took on Jeff Hardy and Mr. Park. There were 3 tag team matches, and the winner of these tag team matches will face each other inside the Bound for Glory Gauntlet. And the winner of the Gauntlet would get a huge boost in the standings at the Bound for Glory standings. You get 25 points. So Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, they went out to beat Jeff Hardy and Joseph Park. They advanced to the Gauntlet. How about this? Aces and Eights member Mr. Anderson teamed up with Main Event Mafia's Magnus, went on to defeat the team of Hernandez and Jay Bradley. They advanced to the bracket. And how about this? For the first time, since their tag team days, Bobby Roode and Austin Aries was on opposite ends. Bobby Roode teamed up with Kazarian to take on Austin Aries and Christopher Daniels. In the end, it was Roode and Kazarian picking up the win. They advanced to the Gauntlet. And a ladder match between Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell. What a physical match they had at Slammiversary. And Taryn Terrell showed toughness and picked up the victory. But Gail Kim got even. She wins the ladder match, and she is now the #1 contender for the Knockouts Championship. Mickie James better watch out. That's all I got to say about that. And then came the Gauntlet of the Bound for Glory series. And the winner turned out to be Magnus. He gets 25 points. And I believe that he's still on top of the leaderboard as of last night. And then Main Event Mafia continues to add new people. Okay? They find someone who's been in main events in a whole different sport. In MMA, UFC, now Bellator, and now he's hoping to be a main event as a professional wrestler. When Quentin Rampage Jackson has joined the main event mafia. We talk about the same Rampage Jackson when he made his debut about a few weeks ago, over a month plus ago. He got into a confrontation with Kurt Angle. He said, "You may be the man of the octagon, but I'm the man of this ring." So I'm guessing there was a mutual respect where maybe it was Angle who recruited Rampage to join. How you gonna put a guy in a group and he has yet to have a wrestling match? He's a MMA fighter, I get all that, but he's never had a wrestling match. I know he's been training so hard, but he's never been in a match. How you just gonna put this guy in a major storyline in a in this type of situation? He's never been in a wrestling match. And I wonder how much Rampage is getting paid. Hell, he's probably getting paid more than people that actually are wrestlers. And I find that comical. Seriously, I found it comical for someone like him to be a part of all this. I'm just saying. It's ridiculous. Flat out ridiculous. But that concludes your Impact recap of the evening. Alright, so you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go ahead and recap Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown for earlier tonight. Daniel Bryan goes on to defeat Christian. Seth Rollins defeat Jey Uso. Ryback goes in to defeat Kane. Ryback defeated The Miz, Chris Jericho defeated Curtis Axel for the second time this week, only this time by count out. AJ and Caitlyn have the first ever Diva Championship contract signing. And I believe that is Kenny on the phone here. Let's get him on. I'm joined with Kenny Stone, any pro wrestling referee. He is joining me right now. Hello, Kenny.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for joining me this evening on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Thank you for having me.
It's pretty cool to talk to someone that shares the same first name as I do, so that's pretty cool itself. I just want to get that out the way. So Kenny, what made you decide to be a referee?
Well, I was actually originally training to be a wrestler and had a severe head injury, and so I kind of had to figure out what I was going to do, and I definitely was going to stay in the business. So somebody asked me if I wanted to referee, and I was like, yeah, totally. And I've been doing it about a year now. So it's been awesome. I love it. I love working with all the guys.
Here's a question that I want to ask, especially since you're a referee. So you know how wrestlers have to, get trained properly, go through the fundamentals and things like that. Is there a same thing to that when it comes to referee? Do they have to go through a certain training as well?
Yeah, there's a lot to know. I mean, you can't just, hey, watch some referees and think, okay, get in there. Yeah, you've got to learn a lot of different things to get in the ring to become a referee.
What was the early stages like for you when you first got started? I mean, obviously, this was the only thing for you to stay in the wrestling business. I mean, how did it how did it feel at first when you got started?
I was real nervous, because I know most of the guys are, coming in as a wrestler, training to be a wrestler. Uh, it takes a long time before you get in the ring. So um, I kind of moved in pretty quick as a referee, and so at first it was kind of intimidating, just feeling out the guys and just kind of feeling out how everything moves around in the ring. But yeah, since it probably took me a good month or so, because you've got to be in pretty good shape to keep up with the guys in there as well.
So, do you have any upcoming wrestling shows, appearances you'd like to promote?
Yeah, actually, in Bremerton, Washington, uh, July 20th, we have a charity event. Crown's putting on a charity event at Los Pabonitos Mexican restaurant, and it's 6th and Callow in Bremerton, Washington. And we also have a show coming up. Uh, I know August 28th. It's going to be Injustice for All, and that's at the Squamish Tribal Center in Paulsville, Washington, and that's off of Sandy Hook Road. It's the Squamish Tribal Learning Center, and that's at 6 o'clock. So we've got a lot of different things going on.
What do you like the most being part of the wrestling business? Do you think it's the traveling? Is it interacting with the fans? Is it just doing your job? What do you like the most of being part of the wrestling business?
I like anything. I want to entertain the fans. I want to be a part of entertaining the fans. I want them to be able to kind of forget about whatever their troubles are. Maybe the guy got laid off, and whatever it is, just forget about it. Bring your kids, have a good time. Leave the show happy, and want more. I mean, keeping the fans definitely is my number one thing.
Throughout the years in wrestling, I mean, obviously, referees nowadays, especially in the big leagues, have definitely made a name for themselves. And it's not necessarily just due to a storyline, I mean, or things like that. Obviously, when you think of Earl Hebner, the first thing that pops in your mind is that he was the referee for the Montreal Screwjob. You got Charles Robinson. You got all these other referees making names for themselves. Uh, you being a referee yourself, how do you feel about the popularity of the referees that with the likes of Earl Hebner and Charles Robinson? How do you feel about the popularity of the referees?
I think it's great. I mean, they're out there doing their job, every week. Sometimes those guys are in the ring, 3 times, 4 times a night, depending on how many matches they're doing. So they're out there and they're contributing, so popularity is great. I think it's great. I mean, you get to come out, you get to see the guys that you're familiar with, the guys that you just love. You learn to love as part of the wrestling business. So I think it's awesome.
All right, I want you to think real hard on this next question. Um, you being the referee and all, if you can be the referee of a dream match, it could be wrestlers from the indie circuit or it could be wrestlers from the pros. If you could have referee one dream match, who would you have in a dream match to officiate?
I've actually thought about that. As being an official, and putting a lot of thought into that. I think I would really, really love if I could have refereed Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. It was just legendary. I think that would have been just. I mean, that would be the dream.
You know that to this day it still goes down as one of the most memorable wrestling matches in WWE history. It started the landscape of WrestleMania, and here's you got these two men, these iconic figures, and I guess what people didn't realize too much, maybe people were too young, or maybe they weren't born when that match came out. But Andre was on the decline and Hogan was on the rise. I mean, I guess people just got so caught up of how big the match is. I guess they didn't quite get the whole magnitude. It was kind of like a whole pass in the torch type of feel. For
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that was it, absolutely. Uh, I mean, Andre the Giant was good, when he was younger and everything, but I think you hit it perfect when you said it. He was kind of on the downward side of it. So for him to hook up with Hogan on his highest peak was, I mean, and it just became. I don't even know how you would actually top it. I mean, to this day, that match.
I mean, there's been other matches, since then. Like a young wrestler taking on a veteran, and there may have been um, somewhat spectacular, but Hogan and Andre is in a pedestal itself.
Yeah.
Just those were the two top guys at the time, and uh, they made wrestling into a phenomenon. And obviously, a lot has changed. I mean, obviously, it's no longer companies no longer looking at the heavyweights. They looking at the CM Punks, the Daniel Bryans, the Davey Richards. I mean, those type of guys, not necessarily the biggest, tall, toughest guys, but like the Bret Harts and Shawn Michaels in the world, they know how to put matches together, and they can fill out the seats and give you 5-star matches.
Oh, absolutely. I like a lot of the X Division guys and that sort. The younger guys that have come up and can fly around and do some of the stuff that the heavyweights just can't do. I definitely enjoy it.
My last question for you, Kenny, is what would your advice be to anyone that wants to be a referee or just want to be in the wrestling business? What would your advice be?
Um, just study the business. Look into it. I mean, obviously, if you're a fan, you probably watched a lot of it. Um, and just respect. I mean, just have a lot of respect. If you have a chance to get into it like I did, I mean, learn as much as you can. Listen to the guys. Just keep your mouth quiet and learn as much as you can. Uh, yeah, I mean, I got to talk with some of the guys that, I mean, just respect. I mean, they're the greatest guys in the world, and you got to just have the most respect for all of them, and just listen and learn. I mean, they're going to teach you something. They want you to be there. If they didn't, you wouldn't be there. So, just, just a lot of respect would be my biggest thing.
Well, Kenny, it was great chatting with you. Thank you for your time, sir. Continue success, being a referee, being part of the business going forward, and thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you. Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it.
You have a good night, man.
All right, you too, buddy.
All right, bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
That was referee Kenny Stone joining me here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Let me quickly recap the remainder of SmackDown here. Um, I was in the middle of AJ Caitlyn. That was a contract signing, first ever Divas Championship contract signing in history. Believe it or not. AJ got not AJ, but Caitlyn. Not only did she smack Biggie in the face, the so-called secret admirer, but she speared Caitlyn. Caitlyn is a mini powerhouse. That woman hits hard as nails. And I'm sure some of the divas are gonna be like, "Well, you was saying stuff about me texting this secret admirer. What? You should have seen the look of Karen and Naomi's face. That's the last thing you want to do. Is make a black girl look at you like, oh no, you didn't. That's the last thing you want to do. I just point that out. Fandango defeats Wade Barrett. The Del Rio versus Sin Cara match was ruled a no contest because Dolph Ziggler was disguised as Sin Cara, uh, calling Zig Cara. And Teddy Long told him to have the night off. Well, Dolph Ziggler, he did took the night off. He just went under this. He was just a man. He was just a master in disguise that night. And of course, Sheamus and Orton, that match ended in a no contest because of the interference of Daniel Bryan. Christian also got involved, and of course, this past Monday ended with Daniel Bryan with the red briefcase. That I find it funny that they had these guys trying to get the blue briefcase, even though they are in the Money in the Bank All Stars tournament match, and the briefcase is color red. So I just find that funny. I really do. Okay, 3 minutes left into the show. Let's go ahead and I bring you my Money in the Bank predictions. Here we go. We start off with the WWE Tag Team Championship match between the Shield members Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins up against the Usos. This is the first legitimate Tag Team Championship opportunity for the Usos. Let's face it, they are the real legit tag team. For all these months, the Shield has beaten great individuals. Now you're taking on a great tag team. Jimmy and Jey Uso, I gotta give them kudos, man, because I know they've had some frustrations, and I know their father, former WWE wrestler Rikishi, is frustrated of maybe how the progression of the Usos, where they're finally getting the tag team opportunity. I said after Team Hell No fell apart, the next tag team should be in line, should be the Usos. And even though it's on the kickoff, aka pre-show, they are getting the tag team title opportunity on a major pay-per-view. So good for them. You know, my heart says I want the Usos to win, but my head says I'm gonna go with Rollins and Reigns. They're gonna retain the tag team titles. Now, to the official show itself, Chris Jericho versus Ryback. You got the veteran and Jericho going up against the rising talent in Ryback. Ryback lost in that 3 stages of hell match at Extreme Rules. And he wants to redeem himself. And what better way to redeem yourself than to defeat a future Hall of Famer in Chris Jericho? I'm going to go with Chris Jericho lost to one NXT guy in Fandango at WrestleMania. I'll go for the upset on this one. I'm going to go with Ryback. AJ versus Caitlyn for the Divas Championship. Something tells me that this is going to be the end of the AJ and Caitlyn rivalry. I'm going to go with AJ Lee. Intercontinental Championship match. Miz versus Curtis Axel. Remember, thanks to Miz's figure 4 leg lock and the IQ move by Axel, Axel went on to win the Intercontinental Gold. I'm gonna go with Curtis Axel. Paul Heyman will be at ringside. Now, on to the World Heavyweight Championship contract Money in the Bank ladder match. According to Teddy Long, this group of wrestlers represents the future of the WWE. Although one man currently has a championship and the other is a former World Heavyweight Champion and a former Money in the Bank winner himself. You got Ray Barrett, Cody Rhodes, Damian Sandow, Fandango, Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro, and United States Champion Dean Ambrose. I would like to call this the heel portion of Money in the Bank. You don't have a single. I think this has to be the first Money in the Bank ladder match that only includes heels. All these wrestlers are heels. No baby faces in this one. You know what? Here's what I'm going. You got Rose Scholars, the team. Swagger, Cesaro, a team. Fandango, Ambrose. I mean, for him to be the World Heavyweight Champion, that this early in his career would be interesting. But I'm gonna go with the Barrett Barrage on this one. I'm going with Ray Barrett. This guy said on NXT season 1 he wants to be the first British World Champion. I'm gonna go with the Barrett Barrage to pull through on this one. So there you go on that. Now, the Money in the Bank All-Star Ladder Match. It was supposed to feature 7 former WWE and or World Champions. Well, with the injury of Kane, suffered neck and head trauma courtesy of the Wyatt family, the participants is now down to 6. Randy Orton, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Christian, and Sheamus. As I look through this, I tell you, I'm going to give you 4 people that I don't see winning this match. Sheamus, Christian. I don't see Sheamus and Christian. It would be cool. Maybe Christian could be the Chris Sabin of the WWE in 2013, coming back from an injury. And he has to be talking about one more match. He's going to have plenty of matches. He's just not going to get that one more match to get that world title opportunity. But then again, remember, he won the World Heavyweight Championship in a ladder match. Then he loses it later that week to Randy Orton. So how crazy would it be? It'll be down to Christian and Orton. I just don't see Sheamus. I don't see Sheamus, Christian, CM Punk, because they're going to have him prepare to face Lesnar at SummerSlam, I'm assuming. And RVD, he'll get the loudest ovation. He's going to have the crowd on his side. I don't see him winning neither. So I narrowed down to the 2 men that had briefcases in hand when both Raw and SmackDown went off the air. Orton tonight on SmackDown, Daniel Bryan this past Monday on Raw. It's been nearly 2 years since Orton last won a World Championship. It's long overdue. This dude has been taking a backseat for way too long. And this man said it, man, a few weeks ago. He's desperate. He wants to be a champion again. And this may be the only chance he gets. But Daniel Bryan, the year he has had with the 5-star matches, he's already won the World Heavyweight title, U.S. champion, Tag Team champion, Money in the Bank winner. If you look, 3 out of the 6 have won this match. RVD, CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan. Only Daniel Bryan is the only person that has won the Money in the Bank in this match this Sunday. He's the only person that's won the MITB match at the MITB pay per view. I'm gonna go with Daniel Bryan to win the Money in the Bank All Star. He'll be the. It is an All Star. Then we're gonna need an All Star MVP. I'm going with the MVP to be Dazzle, D. Bryan, Daniel Bryan, your MITB winner. The red briefcase that is. Now, two more matches to go. World Heavyweight Championship match: Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio. Dolph Ziggler is clear to compete. At least that's what he wants us to think. But you know Del Rio's gonna wanna he's gonna really go for those kicks to the head. And we're gonna see what Ziggler's made of this Sunday night. I thought this through. I'm as much as I want to see Ziggler win this title, I just don't see it happening. He just can't top it's Philadelphia. It's, Jersey, rowdy crowd. More power to them. I don't think Philadelphia can match the reaction that Jersey had when Ziggler cashing in on Del Rio. As far as I'm concerned, the score is 1-1 in 2013. Ziggler cashed in the briefcase on him on the night after WrestleMania. Then Del Rio got his revenge at Extreme Rules. And he suffered a concussion symptoms in the process. I'm going to go with Del Rio to retain the World Heavyweight title. And then the main event, John Cena versus Mark Henry. Feels like 2011 all over again, does it? Mark Henry's been in the business for over a decade and a half. He's had some memorable moments. He's just never had the Hall of Fame type of career. But winning that World Heavyweight title at Night of Champions definitely felt good for Mark Henry. But to win the WWE Championship, you can't get any higher than that. That's the biggest prize WWE has to offer. Mark Henry got people fooled thinking that he was going to retire. Well, he ain't retiring and he ain't going anywhere. He's looking to induct John Cena into the Hall of Pain. But John Cena, with that resilience, never back down, hustle, loyalty, and respect. I expect Mark Henry to bring all he got, but Cena, when there's a will, there's a way. Cena just always appear to find a way to retain. I would say this would be the biggest win in this reign for Cena. It's now or never, John. I'm going with John Cena to retain the WWE title at Money in the Bank. And that concludes my Money in the Bank predictions of the evening. I want to thank Kenny Stone for joining me. Next week, Indie Pro Wrestler Chloe out of Tennessee will be joining me. And we'll recap Money in the Bank, Raw, Main Event, Impact, and Destination X, a.k.a. SmackDown. Destination X, aka Impact Wrestling. And I'm just gonna put this out there. Since I will be at the WWE show on September 20th, there will be no show on that day. No show. 6th, 13th, 27th of September, 20th, no show. I will be at the I will be at the WWE show. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You all have a good night. Have a good weekend. We'll see you back on the air 10 East, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Ustream.tv. This is Kenny C, and I'm out.